Welcome back, everybody. This week, President Biden made a speech in Warsaw, Poland after a surprise visit to Kiev. And now we've had a lot of great guests on this show to talk about President Biden's foreign policy, especially concerning the war in Ukraine. But our next guest can give us a different perspective on all that's transpiring. He is Yuriy. He's the advisor to the Minister of Defense in Ukraine. And he's here with us now. Yuriy, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Sir, if you could just give us kind of your current purview of the Russia-Ukraine war, and also, especially in light of recent news, the concerning fact, how concerned are you that China is going to be providing weapons support to Russia?
Well, tomorrow there will be 1 year since the beginning of this large-scale, unprovoked aggression against Ukraine, against Ukrainian people. And I would even go any further, I would say, against the free world, because, this is what we're saying all the time, that this is not just Ukrainian army fighting for the Ukrainian cities or Ukrainian people or Ukrainian territory. This is Ukrainian people fighting for the global freedom. And, in some strange way, I think we are proud of the fact that we will be bestowed with this mission, because Russia is a terrorist state. Russia is a terrorist state which brings threats and risks to not just our country, but to the European continent, to the world. Now, as for the news about the possibility of China beginning to provide Russia with weapon systems. Now, look, of course, we hope that Russia will continue to, China will continue to have a pragmatic approach to Russia's war against Ukraine. We hope that China will not be providing Russia with weapon systems, even though we know that, we have degraded Russian army during the last 12 months so badly that they're now shopping around the world for different weapons. And you know better than I do that, they've been buying drones from Iran, one of the worst rogue states on this planet. And so they're trying to speak to other countries as well, because this war is unsustainable for Russia. Russia knows that they will lose this war and Ukraine will win it. And this is why they are desperately looking for allies, and we hope that, countries like China should be interested, logically, in preserving rule-based international order, not to live in a world run by chaos and threat and fear.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And you mentioned the performance of the Russian army. I haven't talked to a single U.S. military official who isn't shocked at how badly performed the Russians have performed and how well the Ukrainians have done, being allegedly outmanned by a superpower. What's been the secret to the Ukrainian success? All the territory you regained, all the significant damage you've been able to inflict on Russians. What's been some of the keys to that?
See, John, sometimes we forget that this war, it began not on February 24th.
That's right.
In fact, it didn't even begin on, in 2014, when Russia illegally annexed Crimea and started war in the east of Ukraine. Russia is a country that has been trying to destroy Ukraine as a people, Ukraine as culture, for centuries now. So we kind of lived on our DNA level with a deep understanding that, sooner or later, Russia will again try to destroy us openly. And this is what we're dealing with right now. But what I think the key kind of secret to our success is that on that day, 1 year ago, February 24th, when we woke up, the human psychology is simple. When faced with a threat or a risk, you go either to fight mode or flight mode. So we came together as a nation and we went straight into the fight mode. Our president stand up and he said, I don't need a taxi ride, I need ammunition. And this is what we keep saying for the last 12 months. We are prepared, willing, and determined to defeat this paper tiger, this terrorist state on the battlefield. Just give us the tools, give us the weapons. We will defend the global freedom. We are unafraid. Give us the tools. Tanks, F-16s, long-range missiles. That's what we need right now on the battlefield.
Sir, I wanted to get your perspective on something a little different. So often when there's global conflict, because of the news cycle, we pay attention most closely to the governmental response. But as we know, in other global conflicts, it's the people of those countries who very often most feel the impact of these types of conflicts. For the American people, as they look at the people of Ukraine who are enduring this, as you said, a year tomorrow, what on the humanitarian side can American citizens do to aid Ukrainian citizens?
Amanda, first of all, hand on heart, I would like to use this opportunity to thank from the Ukrainian people, from my family, from my son, because when I speak to my son, most of the time he begins conversation, Dad, when are the Americans going to give us next delivery of missiles? And my son is only 11 years old. And look, he knows the difference between HIMARS systems, between M777 howitzers. So we are all truly grateful to the American people, to the American taxpayers for standing with us in these trying times and helping us defeat this evil, these enemies. So, of course, in the future, we hope that we will continue to see the American people, shoulder to shoulder with us. We're not asking to fight for us, like I said, we'll do it ourselves. But on a humanitarian field, look, I want to tell you, like, for example, there is this company, group of people, our American friends who have arrived in Ukraine back in March 2022. They are graduates of Yale University, MIT. They've established a voluntary charitable organization called Zero Line. They've been there on the front lines, for the last 12 months helping Ukraine. So there's a lot of Americans who actually are there and trying to implement great humanitarian initiatives. There are Americans who are supporting here. Everyone I meet here, either it's an Uber driver or somebody I meet in high offices, people tell us, we pray for you, we are with you. This is really, really important for us. Knowing this gives us even more strength, gives us more determination to make this year a year of victory. And we all hope that we will never have to celebrate another anniversary of this aggressive war.
Yeah, I know the whole world is rooting for that. Sir, I want to ask you a little bit about springtime, because that's when the expectation is that the Russians are going to try to launch another offensive. The first ones haven't gone very well. They've met the Ukrainian army and they found out what the Ukrainian army is made of. Tell us what we might expect in the next round of battles and what the United States could do to beyond the equipment to ensure your success.
Well, like I said already, we have shown to the world that Russia is, in fact, not a superpower. It's a fake superpower. It's a paper tiger, and we've defeated Russia on the battlefield. We've kicked them out from Kyiv, from Chernihiv, from Kharkiv, from Kherson, and we will continue to do that. Honestly and seriously, our objective is the complete deoccupation and liberation of Ukraine in 2023. Now, of course, whether they have anything else they could pull out of their hat, any hidden rabbits, I don't think they can produce any hidden army which is kept somewhere secretly in Siberia and all of a sudden it will appear on the front line. They've done their mobilization. It resulted in nothing. In the last 6 months, they've not had any military success on the battlefield. The only thing they've been able to capture was actually the ruins, effectively, of the city of Soledar. It's a small, tiny, almost village. So, at the same time, we must not underestimate our enemy because, if they continue with that mobilization, if they send, 300,000 to 500,000 people on the front lines, if they engage other countries who we hope will, not be involved in this conflict, but, there's Belarus there who is anytime could become a front line. Yeah. So, but whatever comes, we are prepared. And American people, American government, we are asking now for long-range missiles. These are very, very crucial at this stage of the war because with the long-range missiles like ATACMS, we will be able to strike the enemy deeper into their territory, and this will mean that we can achieve more success on the battlefield, incurring fewer losses on our side.
Yeah, so important.
Yuriy, advisor to the Minister of Defense in Ukraine. We know you are a very, very busy person, so we're going to let you go, but we hope you stay well and be safe, and you're back on here. Welcome back on here anytime.
Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll be back. Have a great day.
Great honor to have you. Thank you,
sir.